I don't know if there's something wrong with me. I don't know if One Piece is my life now and I just have to accept it.
We are.
Yo, what's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about One Piece. Now, I have been hyper fixated with One Piece since 2023. Ain't gonna lie to you. Season 1, the live action series on Netflix, has just taken me by complete storm. Honestly, it was one of the things that I least expected to ever happen. It wasn't a show that came out and I was excited about it. It wasn't a show that I thought I was going to dedicate my time to. I literally just happened to be doom scrolling on Netflix one day, found the live action series, turned it on, and I think I binged it in like 2 days because it was just so good. The production quality, the storytelling, the character arcs, it was all just so incredible. And the thing that got me, I think, the most was just the emotional weight that they put on you as the viewer with even just like side characters that you meet throughout the course of the story, never mind the actual Straw Hat Pirates themselves. And I I just fell in love with this series, and because season 1 was so freaking good, I just I just wanted more, you know? I just wanted more. I wanted to know what happened next, and I couldn't wait for season 2. And so I did what I think any reasonable person would do, and I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna read the manga. I'm just gonna read the manga. I mean, I had the option, obviously, to watch the anime, but I was like, you know what? I read a lot of manga already. I've read series like Saint Seiya and Bleach and Dragon Ball Z and Full Metal and Ultimate Muscle and Subasa and Claymore, and the list goes on and on and on. Let's just read the manga. And then I remembered, you know what, Derek, you gave this a fair shake once. And the truth is, and I'm going to be 100% honest here, is that while I'm obsessed with One Piece right now, there was a time where I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. I had a friend that recommended me to read One Piece back in like 2010, and I thought, okay, you know what? I'll give it a try. I could read it. Why not? You know, it's not no big deal. It's popular. People really like this series. So I went to the library, I picked up the first volume, and all I remember was two things. One, I finished reading it and it didn't strike me. It didn't captivate me. It wasn't something I felt like I was dying to read the next volume. So I just kind of dropped it. And then the second thing was that I don't think I ever returned to the book to the library for about 10 years. It wasn't until my wife was like, "Hey, what's this book doing on our shelf?" And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, it's a library book. So, anyways, I ended up taking it back. Don't worry. Honestly, it's just funny to me that I would go from absolutely wanting nothing to do with the series to being so freaking hyper fixated and obsessed with it that it's something I think about on a day-to-day basis. I don't know if there's something wrong with me. I don't know if One Piece is my life now and I just have to accept it, but like I want everything. I want the Funko Pops. I want merchandise like t-shirts and hoodies, and I want puzzles, and I want Lego, and I want models that I can build, and I want it all. I want the DVDs. I started collecting them. But anyways, I'm just blown away by how incredible this series is. And in part, I gotta thank the live action series for just kind of catapulting me into this series because this franchise is amazing. And the live action series did such an incredible job presenting and kind of like subsidizing a lot of the content within those specific arcs. I'm talking like Romance Dawn and Orange Town, Syrup Village, Arlong Park. I think they do a great job just kind of condensing it into a bingeable watch through with the most important beats. I mean, someone might disagree with that statement. I know there's a few things that they cut out. There's a character that they cut out that I was really hoping that they would keep in, but I didn't feel that way until I revisited that character way far ahead in the manga. Because not only have I read enough material in the manga to kind of understand the direction of season 2 and season 3, I'm all the way into the new world and just about to wrap up Fishman Island and move into Punk Hazard. So things are really like shaping up as far as the story goes, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's characters like Hachi who kind of play a role later on in the story that didn't have an appearance whatsoever in the live action series. and I'm not too sure how they're going to remedy something like that. But regardless, I have total faith that season 2 is going to be freaking awesome. I mean, we've seen the clips in and we've seen the trailers as they've been promoting it, and I can't wait for March 10th. I'm so excited for it. Uh but I think it's great. We've seen characters like Vivi, we've seen Chopper, we've seen a lot of the folks from Baroque Works, we've seen Miss All Sunday. I think everything looks great so far. The only thing that I feel like I'm maybe a little bit bummed out about, but honestly, I'm not too concerned, is that Drum Island is probably very likely only going to be like the last 2 episodes of season 2. And as much as I would like to spend a little bit more time there because I love characters like Wapple and Dalton and Chopper, and I love Chopper's backstory, I completely understand the direction that they're taking. I mean, so far we've seen a lot of what we can expect over in Whiskey Peak and the involvement of Baroque Works, which I think is fundamental, especially since we kind of know that the direction for season 3 is going to be like the entire Alabasta arc, which I think will be interesting to see how that plays out in a shortened sequence because it is relatively long, and there's a lot of information, and it's so freaking good. But I think it's smart, you know, they're gonna spend more time kind of showing that relationship between Baroque Works and Vivi and how they can impact Luffy's life, which I think is gonna set up a great confrontation between Luffy and Crocodile in season 3, and I hope they do it justice. I have no doubt that they will. But I'm also really hoping that characters like Bon Clay and Wapple just translate very well from the manga to the live action series. These are characters that I absolutely love. I love their personality. More specifically, Bon Clay. I love Bon Clay. And so I hope the actor does it justice and brings some life to the role cuz Bon Clay is super animated and very over the top, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Sanji versus Bon Clay works out when we get to season 3. It's probably going to be, I'm hoping it's my favorite fight scene. It's one of like my favorite moments throughout that whole story arc within the manga. So I'm excited about that. But with all that being said, I'm sure there's some of you guys thinking like, Derek, you've been reading the manga, but you haven't really talked about the anime at all. Well, the truth is that I haven't really spent a whole lot of time watching it. I've seen some clips here and there, and I've watched a couple episodes sporadically with my son, but I've never dedicated any time specifically to actually watching it all the way through in order to try to catch up. So that's kind of my goal for 2026 is to sit down and watch the entire One Piece series. Well, hopefully as fast as possible. I think I did the math. It works out to like 3 episodes a day, which seems really doable until you realize like you have life and like adult responsibilities. Bleh. But like it is what it is, right? So I'm going to try. And to kind of hold myself accountable to that, I'm going to be recapping every episode that I watch right here on the channel so you guys kind of follow along on this journey with me as I explore the anime for the very first time. I think one of the things that I'm probably the most excited about that people have kind of told me in advance is that there's a lot of filler. And some people really hate the filler episodes. I I'm personally just really interested to see how it kind of plays out. Um, because I've been reading the manga, so I kind of understand the source material. If there's extra adventures or more interesting experiences or conversations or interactions through the filler, I'm kind of curious to see how that stuff plays out. I think it would be kind of fun to experience it for the very first time. So if you guys want to, follow along on this One Piece journey with me, make sure you sub to the channel. Don't forget to like this video and let me know in the comments what your favorite moment of the live action series, the manga, or the anime is. Or hell, just leave me a comment with zero context, kind of describing something that maybe I should expect when I'm watching the anime. I don't know. You know what I mean? But honestly, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm excited to connect with a lot of you guys that are One Piece fans, and maybe some of your journeys are similar to mine, where you started out kind of resisting One Piece. You didn't want anything to do with it, and now you've you've kind of taken that leap and you're completely obsessed by the series and you love it and you recognize it for what it is. And it's honestly one of the greatest written stories I've ever experienced in my life. And I just can't wait to consume more. I can't wait for season 2, and I can't wait to kinda get really deep into the freaking anime. I'm so stoked. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. I'll see you guys real soon.